Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. So we didn't make as much progress as I kind of wish I had in the last recording, particularly considering the last recording was a repeat of a non-recording. So I've been playing for an hour now of Hearthstone and we still have got a lot to do. I guess we'll try to play the priest cards right now and get done with that. So, as far as my priest deck, I do have a wild priest that I can just play. And I guess we can even try ranked because I just need to play the cards. It doesn't really matter if I win or not. Let's go on and move through the list. I have quite a large list of things to talk about. In fact, they're almost overflowing because I ran out of room and there was a couple more things I could have added that I've just left as YouTube, well, Chrome web pages, not YouTube pages.
The light shall bring victory.
This whole talking about old news is still kind of weird, but I do want to talk about what happens in the video game. Well, and the only way I could do it quicker is if I just started falling behind and these videos came out quicker. But it still probably would never be like a podcast like the Bombcast where they talk about the news for 40 minutes of their 3-hour section, and sometimes there's no news to talk about at all, so then they have to figure out other things. The weird thing about the Bombcast too is it takes like 4 or 5 people sitting around talking to each other to get 3 hours of conversation, where I'm sitting here doing it all as one person talking to nobody. In a lot of ways, I think about that and think about the fantasy if they were ever hire me, which I probably wouldn't want anyways because I don't want to work for CBS Interactive. And I don't want my company or my business and my job to be under the control of a corporation that at any whim could close them down or merge them into GameStop or GameSpot, whatever it is. But on the other thought, I don't know if I'd really get along with the people either. I don't know. They're all this big group of friends, mostly from California, with that Cali attitude, and I just don't know if that's me. Frankly, I don't. It's a bad thing to say, but I don't know if I get along with many people, and that's where this running my own business and just talking out loud helps a lot. Particularly since I'm a critic and all I'm stating usually is opinions, so I don't want to convince people to agree with me. I don't want people to agree with me because they're my friends or anything like that, or my coworkers and they're just trying to avoid conflict. And I've talked about it before, but it really does seem like I've noticed more and more, whether it's a video game podcast or a movie review contest podcast or something, more and more it seems like the professional people, they have this social lubrication that they spew out, where they agree with people when they shouldn't, or they agree with people when they really don't. Or they find some common ground and try to agree. There almost certainly was a lot of like getting along with people that I didn't learn in a younger age, and it only helps me actually be steadfast and firm in what I actually believe. And I'm happy to have that special magical ability of not. Let's see, whenever this cast a spell was
hey, that's my cake!
I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna do this.
Job's done.
So, like, if I was running the Bombcast or any video game podcast, I would ask somebody to just talk.
Trade Prince
And
Callowix here.
There is one I listen to where it's 3 people over their phone and they each record their own sections. So they have a little bit of a conversation there at the beginning. And then they play mostly just a diatribe of
In the light's name.
that one person who's reviewing the movies they review without any real interruptions at all, and because of the way the phone delay makes that not really work. And then at the end they'll ask a couple of questions and that's it. So they give the person, each of the people on their thing is assigned or picks a movie they're going to review. They give their full review for like 20 minutes plus, and then maybe a 5 or 10 minute response. Whereas in the Bombcast specifically, they're always jumping in. They're pretty consistently asking questions and doing it off the top of their head, whereas instead of holding questions for later, which I think would probably be nicer. Let's see, if I do this, what else can I do? Let's see.
I can wait and fish all day. Blessed be this funnel cake.
And let's just go ahead and attack.
Hey, that's my cake.
And then in the turn. So yeah, I went on a little diatribe there myself, but yeah, I don't know really how I do news quicker. I would almost certainly have to, step one would be stop doing Hearthstone. Because if I'm not recording Hearthstone, if I'm not recording news, then I have nothing to talk about doing Hearthstone and then that's out the window. And the only way I think I could get away with that anytime soon is if I got somebody else to play my Hearthstone account for me and be very consistent about it, and have this unpaid intern person just playing it for no reason. And then I would take everything I talk about and just turn it into some other news thing. But then I'd have to think of what visual elements am I going to do. Like, I would probably steal a lot from like Co-optitude, Total Biscuits podcast, and just go through all the lists on Steam. That would be some good visual elements. I don't ever really want to do face cam stuff, so that thought doesn't really appeal to me.
Embrace the void.
Here we go.
Where's my cat?
In the light's name.
Now, let's see if I play this and this. I'm hurting myself. I forgot this guy was out here. I've just killed myself. I've totally killed myself. This was dumb.
Not too quickly.
This is just a oops.
Not quite what was planned.
Hey, that's my cake.
I would have won if I hadn't played this character. This would have worked if I hadn't played this character. Anyways, let's move on to other things. LEGO Dimensions is patching its Fantastic Beasts level. That's because, slight spoiler alert, there's an actor, I don't even remember who the actor is, that turns out to be the bad guy. And so either the actor that you see most of the movie didn't want to come back as the bad guy, or they wanted somebody else. And since that character was supposed to be a big twist and surprise, they he wasn't even in the game, and so they're gonna patch it to include him now. I don't think it's going to have much else to do with that, though. No. Twitch has announced a new auto mod tool to clean up the chat. I find this slightly interesting in particular because I didn't really think that Twitch had that bad of a chat, really. First of all, because you can make your chat subbed only. So you would have to pay the $5 or whatever it costs to be subbed on the channel. And then, so if somebody's paying $5, then
You asked for it.
not really gonna
bring
make
victory.
the chat awful there. I mean, it's still gonna be a chat. It's still gonna be pretty awful, but it's not gonna be that bad. And the other thing is, I just didn't think there was a lot of garbage in Twitch chat. I think it could easily be a case of Amazon and Twitch people, the people who aren't really familiar with the community, thinking the chat is bad because there's a lot of stupid stuff being said, a lot of dumb stuff, a lot of probably racist stuff being said, sexist stuff being said. But I think on the channels that have chats like that, I bet that is part of the personality and the group that follows that channel. So I'm not trying to make a boys will be boys argument here. I'm saying
I'll show them.
if a channel is playing a M-rated game and the person who is playing it is smoking his vape or actually smoking marijuana on screen, or it's a cam girl who well, I guess that'd be a different scenario. Like if the guy is, let's stick with the guy's scenario for a second. If the guy is smoking his vape, if he's cursing, if he makes dark humor jokes like PewDiePie does, which is kind of the reason why a lot of people don't like PewDiePie that much. You
wish to live forever.
Kind of wonder why he specifically is the most watched thing channel. Well, it's because he does those things. So if that's what the community is, and they're saying dark humor things and making jokes and just being off color, then the auto mod tool getting created and added there probably doesn't help anything. It's just alienating your core audience. Now let's look at the other scenario. Say it's a cam girl. She's got the camera up high, definitely looking at the cleavage. She's showing a lot. We know nudity itself is not allowed in is not allowed, but anything closer might get away on Twitch as long as they're playing some video game. There is also the fact that the worst offense, I would say, of things that are happening in the world of Twitch is people playing the radio in the background and just copyright stuff. And that's kind of why people love Twitch too, is because Twitch is not integrated into YouTube's system that catches all those things.
In the light's name.
Block them.
In the light's name.
I knew it. Job done.
There we go. So survive that. So on the cam girl example, if they're saying sexually suggestive things or what would normally be inappropriate things, is it really inappropriate when the host is encouraging it? Like, So, yeah, I'm not sure this auto mod tool is gonna help anybody, really. In general, I'm not sure if Twitch helps anybody except for the top 1%. It's not helping me with the Twitch Prime thing now, really. They're giving you free games through their own system, so that means games not on Steam. I'll take them, but I'm not very happy about it.
In the light's name.
It's not helping me or being useful. They gave me Watch Dogs 2 code that I'll probably never use. So that's kind of it. Getting the one thing I really wanted with the Amazon Prime was the Blizzard Hearthstone thing, and no back orders on any of those rewards, so I missed out on that simply because I didn't get Amazon Prime until it was cheap around Black Friday. So here we need.
The menagerie is for guests only.
Draw a beast, dragon, and a murloc. I only had a dragon.
Face the light.
A new recipe. Feel my pain.
Here we go.
Your soul.
Almost have a full victory here. How long have I been playing? Not that long. The X-Rider Gwent designer. Let me read this correctly. So we had a story about the X-Rider and X-Witcher and Gwent designer has joined the makers of Dying Light, Techland. So Techland made Dead Island, and they lost the name Dead Island, or didn't ever have actually own the name Dead Island, so they made Dying Light. And now they've got the designer who made Witcher 3 and Gwent. And this was a story we talked about, and it was a really weird story too, because it either shows a bad light on what Metro 2033 is gonna be, or no, it's not called Metro 23, I don't think. The Metro series writer is writing a new book, so we'll see another one of those games, I'm sure. But the creators, CD Projekt Red, are doing a cyberpunk game. Oh, I think it's called Cyberpunk 2033. And he left right as after Witcher 3 came out, really. So he's either got no interest in that, doing that, or it's not going well, or CD Projekt Red is not succeeding in general. I mean, you can infer a ton out of it, and we know nothing. It may very well be that he was just not a good fit for the company anymore. He quit, maybe he was fired. It seems really weird, but maybe he just got a better offer. Techland is a growing company, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just got a better offer and they said, come over here and make us a good game. It'll be a little weird because unless Techland comes out with a fantasy game, he's gonna be writing in a modern era of zombie series. But maybe that's what he wanted to do. Maybe he was done designing for The Witcher, and since The Witcher is based on a book too, he may not have had as much freedom there. But Cyberpunk 2033, I don't think is based on any book or anything. It was a weird time for somebody to split. Not incredibly weird. After a project's finished, usually you do see some people who want to retire or just move jobs, do things like that, but usually there's a little bit more to it. Let's see, I'm gonna try and see if I can hit this guy. Nope. So there was the Doom RL, Doom Roguelike, which I think it got a cease and desist from ZeniMax for using the trademarks of Doom, which makes sense. ZeniMax, also owned by Bethesda now, if not wasn't owned before, so Doom RL got turned into DRL. We had that story just about a week ago come out, and surprise, surprise, the successor to Doom RL was put on Kickstarter after that story came out. Maybe it was on Kickstarter already, and it's called Jupiter Hell, and it's supposed to be a spiritual successor to Doom RL, and Doom RL is now open source, so that project is probably mostly abandoned as far as that developer is concerned, and it hit its Kickstarter goals. Now, this, depending on how you look at it, was either a masterful manipulation of the video game news reporting industry to get coverage for a game that almost certainly wouldn't have gotten coverage otherwise, or it is a masterful making lemonade out of lemons twist. So either they intentionally were making Doom RL to get sued by ZeniMax and get a cease and desist, to get enough idea to push Jupiter Hell out, which I don't think they really were, but who knows what was going on in the background. Or they really just made lemons out of lemonade there. And now their game is kickstarted. That being said, it is kickstarted, so always remember that and act appropriately, in the sense that don't go out there and expect it to be great or even good or ever be finished, because promises are easy and finished products are very hard. I was thinking about like what kind of slogan. I thought of a slogan that I should just start saying, so I can put it on a t-shirt and sell it at some point if I ever had merchandise. But I mean, boy, is that a silly thought to have. Let me make up a slogan and then start saying it all the time in the hopes that it catches on, that people want to buy t-shirts from it. There is a slogan, I'm sure, out there that I should say all the time, but I don't. I try to keep I try to be as varied as I can be on what I say. It's like reporting for duty. I don't want to start calling all my fans bros or something like that, or do the bro fist like PewDiePie does. Those things don't interest me. And that they always just ring false and forced, and that's exactly what I would be doing. I'd be forcing some slogan. But there is a slogan out there that's like, never trust video game companies, never trust Kickstarter, never trust, never pre-order, things like that. These are almost slogans that aren't unique to me at all, and just similar things that any other number of video game people have said.
In the light's name.
Let's see.
Just a pinch of vigor.
Face the light.
There you go. A new Chinese law will soon force companies that give loot boxes to disclose somewhere, probably not inside the game, what the rates are of drops, which would be nice, but because it's a Chinese law, it only would have to be enforced in China, and that only means that the drop rate in China may very well be better than the drop rate in other areas, but maybe not. because as long as there's nothing to compare it to, very few people are going to turn around and say,
I wonder.
I want to play this game instead of that game simply because it has more of a drop rate. Let's go ahead and double the health. Do this.
Let's negotiate. You can see a new acquisition.
Deal 2 damage to all characters. That'll work. So, there is a thought maybe then you would have Chinese accounts on some games to get maybe better rates, but like it would have to be some kind of really complicated system you're pulling, some big scam for that to really do anything or matter. Knowing the video game industry, they'd almost certainly do very little work on it if this law ever even gets passed. Whenever a character is healed, can I do this and this and this? No. So I've got to make some decisions here. Let's see. This and then
Just a pinch of
this. And this one's gonna die.
By the holy light!
Darn it. Not quite there.
Thank you.
Let's see. Hold on. This will be our last game.
The light purges!
Ragnar's Light Lord. I forgot about this card.
Reporting
At the end of your turn, restore 8 health to a damage-friendly character. Yep. He is...
How many fingers do you see?
In the light's name.
I think I may have played enough cards here to get the quest up though, so might be done there. And I guess I don't want to talk about anything else quite yet. We'll just save it for the next recording, since I'm about to lose. So I'd have to get 30 damage. I've got 15 here. Let's see. Death Rattle summon the red legendary minion. So let's see, I could kill this guy. And then he could do 5. No, there's just too many. If I killed this guy, then these would become 2 1s, and that would do 4, 5. So if I do this and this, that's the best way. And that gives him 5 damage and 5 damage anyways.
By the holy light!
Oh wait, I could have healed myself, couldn't I have? Darn it. But it wouldn't have mattered anyways. Yeah, I'm playing ranked and losing ranked here. Oh darn. So I need to play 9 more priest class cards. We'll almost certainly get that done. And then Druid and Rogue next time. We'll start with Druid and Rogue, because it wouldn't be a huge disappointment for me to do this off screen. It will be very frustrating if I have to do all of this off screen. And then when we're done, we'll have 120 more and get back up to 5,000 gold, but I really want to be up to 10,000 by the next expansion, so I'm hoping they don't announce a new expansion for a while. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, go to my main YouTube page. On the right is a button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.